Hey, my name is Black and I want to welcome you to the Playdate podcast by Ubongo. Now, if you've never heard of Ubongo before, let me introduce you to something pretty special. For more than a decade, Ubongo has been creating educational adventures that millions of African children have grown up with. Through Akili and Me, Nuzo and Namia, and Ubongo Kids, we've helped children learn how to count, read, solve problems, ask questions, dream bigger, and believe in themselves. Today, Ubongo reaches over 60 million children and families every single month across Africa through television, radio, and digital platforms. And we're on a mission to reach 100 million children by the year 2028. But here's something that we've learned in the process, that behind every confident child is a parent, grandparent, an older sibling, an aunt and uncle, a teacher or caregiver, all of them doing their best. And the truth is, none of us have been given a manual on how to raise a child. We're all trying to figure it out. Some days it is good, we get it right. Some days we just don't. But here's the thing about parenting again. It is something that is never meant to be figured out alone. And that's why we have created the Playdate. This isn't just another parenting podcast. It's a conversation for Africa's parents and caregivers. A place where we can come, laugh about the chaos, have the difficult conversations, learn from experts, hear real stories from real families, and remind each other with every episode that raising a child is something that is meant to be done together. And because Africa is beautifully diverse, so are the voices that are leading in these conversations. Joining me this season is Mama Olive from Kenya, a beloved media personality and a passionate advocate for families, alongside Tommy Lola of Nigeria, whose warmth, honesty, and storytelling have really made her a voice in the continent that is really relatable and recognized by many parents. Together, we'll be exploring parenting from every corner of Africa, because while our cultures may be different, the love we have for our children is all the same. And before we jump into all of that, I wanted to start at the beginning. I recently had the privilege of sitting down with Ubongo's Chief Operating Officer, Christina, someone who has helped shape this incredible organization for years. We spoke about where Ubongo started, why this mission matters, and why creating something for parents has become just as important as creating something for children. This conversation is the heart behind everything we are about to experience. So sit back, relax, put on your seatbelt. Let's get into it.
Before we continue, let's talk about something bigger. Right now, millions of children across Africa don't have access to the kind of learning and support we've talked about today. At Ubongo, we're on a mission to reach 100 million children with fun, localized learning that helps them grow, think, and thrive. But we can't do it alone. If you believe every child deserves that chance, support us by donating at ubongo.org. Let's build the future together.
You are safe in the biggest.
Hey, we are sitting here with Christina, who raised my kid.
Very indirectly.
I would argue it was very direct. And you might be wondering, what weird stuff am I saying? So I discovered Ubongo in COVID when I was looking for authentically African content, specifically for Zulu speakers, and I didn't find anything. And you guys popped up, and our household was colored in Akili songs.
I'm happy our algorithm worked.
Yeah.
I'm happy that whatever we had put worked to pop up.
Yeah. So it was good. And I was telling you off camera that we watched so much Akili that my kid thought her tablet is named Akili. She didn't know that a tablet is called a tablet. So she thought this device is called Akili. And so whenever she'd want her device, she'd ask, where's my Akili?
Oh, that's so cute. Does she still think of us now that she's older?
She does.
Okay.
She does. But maybe, it's just the curse of having parents who think they're cool. She thinks she's cool. So now she's like, yeah.
As long as she's playing outside, we're comfortable with that. If we lose them to the outside play area,
yeah, that's
good.
better. That's better.
Good, yeah.
No, that's good. For those who don't know, and I find this fascinating because, again, you guys lived in my house for a couple of years. How did this start?
the whole concept of it.
Yeah.
So it was several people came together, right? There was a drama teacher, a IT person, a maths teacher, a social entrepreneur, and they all lived in Tanzania for different things. Most of them were Tanzanian. One of them was an American. And they all just started talking at a working space. So they were all at a working space doing different things and started talking and realizing the dire state of education, specifically in Tanzania. So that, because that's where we started. And that, you know, kids go to the classroom, it's rote learning, memorizing. How do they make it fun? And that's kind of how it started. We tried different formats. You know, we did like the talk show formats, we did live footage. And one of the co-founders is an animator, one of the leading animators in Tanzania. So when that idea landed, like, okay, what about animation? And it really took off from there.
Sure.
And I remember the first 2 years, kids would literally come to our office after school and ask to like talk to Mama Ndege or Uncle T, you know, like those main characters, because at that time, animation was not a common thing at all in Tanzania.
Yeah.
So that concept of this is an animated parent on TV that they don't exist in real life was not there, you know? So we could just see kind of the evolution of how kids are really connecting to the characters on the screen. In essence, yeah, that's how Ubongo started.
Great.
Yeah.
Sure. Why the thing of making education fun, you know? Specifically that. Yeah.
I mean, fun is the universal language for kids, right? And it doesn't matter what language you speak, every child should know fun, you know? And how do you communicate fun? How do kids have fun? Through stories, through songs, through dancing, through playing. So we try and incorporate all of that. Like, even our episodes, our content is about learning through play. We have a lot of songs that we teach through songs. We have storylines, because it's very traditional in Africa to teach, you know, the moral of this story, but you're teaching through the story. So that's really why we're trying to say, okay, this is fun learning. Because we want the kids to, first of all, not have that pressure or be thinking about learning. Like they shouldn't be sitting there saying, I'm here to learn, I'm here to learn, right? They should have fun doing it. And that way you're already building those executive functions and curiosity and you know, confidence in kids, so that even when they now transition to the classroom, they already have that, and they can look at learning as fun. And they can also look out for their own learning, so they can search for their own learning. Then you'll find kids who naturally, if you've observed kids and they're walking on the road, they start playing with stones and they make games from those stones or throwing sticks or whatever. Like, so naturally they have that in them. So why not curate that for specific learning, and then but still building that curiosity for them to take into the classroom and beyond.
Yeah. I found the journey of a creator very fascinating, especially if somebody sticks to the journey long enough, that at some point the stuff that you create, you know, for whatever reason you are trying to, you know, fill a need, fill a gap, that interesting intersection where you become the person who needs the thing that you're creating. I don't know if that's happened to you.
I mean, I've definitely learned more maths through our content. Like, guys, I dropped maths. Impossible, I dropped it in class 7. I dropped maths a long time ago. So I've definitely learned some things. And even as you're creating, because I was CPO for a long time, which meant I was really then in the content creation and the learning objectives, approving scripts and stuff. And I would read those scripts and I'll be like, let me make a note for myself so that when it comes to the content review, I can act like I knew this information all along. So you're definitely learning as you go, for sure.
That's great.
For sure.
And where have you seen in your own parenting journey, parent bloopers, where you've fallen flat on your face and empathized with some of us who assume that the people who create this content are superhero parents.
So the beautiful thing about our content is that we're not creating content apart from this Playdate, right? And apart from our Akili family content, we're not creating content specifically to show parents how to parent. So I feel like I've been excused from that in terms of like, okay, if I fail, I'm failing off screen. But parents are very important to us because twofold. So one, they are a major critical stakeholder in a child's learning journey. So when for us, we're looking at the child as our primary focus, we know that part of the holistic child development, parents are in there, right? Encouraging their learning, understanding their own cognitive and social, their own children's cognitive and social development stages. So hence creating content for parents. First of all, so our Akili family content is teaching parents, okay, this is the stage of your child is in right now. This is what you can do. These are the games you can play. And then this Playdate to just have that community to discuss certain things. But very key stakeholder in their child's learning journey, and also a very key partner to Ubongo as gatekeepers, right? Parents are the ones who decide if their child has access to our content or to any other good kind of edutainment content. So for us, we consider parents a key audience in which we can partner with and build that community with and spread the message with and kind of also get feedback from parents. So we have a lot of social media engagement with parents so that we can get feedback from them.
That's good.
And parents actually are part of our roundtable every time we're building either a new show or a new season, because they're the ones who tell us, you know what, these seem to be the issues children are facing in school nowadays, social issues, bullying, sharing, kindness. So we learn from that and we build content based on that. There's parents who come to us and say, like I think some of your other guests over the course of the season, you know, I'm not comfortable talking about this with my child, or this is something uncomfortable as a parent nowadays, because in my days, we didn't used to talk about this. So we take that on and we say, okay, then in our episodes, we're going to talk about HIV, we're going to talk about consent, we're going to talk, you know, things like that. So yeah,
that's great.
Very key.
How many countries are you guys in now?
We are in almost half the continent.
Wow.
So our focus is sub-Saharan Africa. We have our 19 priority countries, but we are focusing across the continent in as much as possible. So our goal, our big audacious goal is 100 million kids by 2028. For us, what keeps us going is, you know, even if we reach one more child, it's like, okay, one child we have reached. But if we stop doing what we're doing, it's like one child we've missed in that 100 million. So it's like, let's just keep going for that 100 million for now, and then maybe the next stage will be, you know.
That's great.
200 million.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let's go.
Yeah.
And do you have teams across these different countries?
Yeah, so we have on-the-ground teams in several countries, I believe 8 countries, but then we also have just remote people who are covering different regions across the continent. So our focus is for Africa, by Africa.
That's good.
So by the African child, for the African child. Yeah, we do, you know, reach the African diaspora outside of the continent, but our focus is understanding the African child, their context, what's happening with them right now, and building that into our content.
Sure. And as somebody who's, you know, a leader in all of this, how do you ensure that you retain the heart that you guys started
So I remember, I remember we started in a shared office with another NGO. So there was like 8 of us and then 8 of them, and sometimes it would be back to back in different meetings. It would be like, because we don't want them to hear our meeting. And we would, you know, we were all young. Hardly any of us were married at that time. No one had kids, maybe 1 or 2. So even at that time, the drive was doing it for the child. That was always like, now we have, you know, 4 core values. We have 11 principles based on those values. But the first one was always do it for the child. And we committed ourselves that no matter how big we grew or did not grow, that would always be our ethos, right? That would be what will keep us up at night, the problems that children are facing. But our solution will always be what will help us sleep well at night. That we know we've done something about it, we're brainstorming, we're finding solutions for it, right? So even as we grew, so we started in Tanzania, and then it became like Tanzania, Kenya, and then Uganda, and then it spread across. We still kept that in mind. And even as we grew from 8 to 77 people that we are right now, we still keep that in mind. So everyone who works with that focus, right, for the African child, and solutions for that, understanding them and building solutions for them. So that has been our core.
Sure.
Yeah.
That is great, man. I wanna, you know, kind of paddle back a bit to you guys sitting in that room, realizing that there's a need. Why did you decide to, do content and not just go into schools, you know? And I asked this because I've heard a lot of people who are like, man, like Africa struggles with data. No one's gonna watch stuff. You know, like you can't create content. Like just rather go to schools, put teachers there, you know, do after school programs. Like don't go on the internet. Like data is expensive in African countries. What, you know? How did you guys wrestle with some of those statements? What was the data saying?
So let me ask you a question just to test our own data maybe.
Sure.
So you're my live sample right now.
Yeah.
What if you were to look at the ecosystem of a child's education?
Yeah.
What would you say are 2 or 3 key issues? Is it number of schools? Is it infrastructure? Is it type of education? Is it what would you say are like 1 or 2 key problems in your child's education journey?
My kids specifically, or just kids or at least let me speak
in
about
general,
kids.
like what you know about.
For me is a big key component that's missing. That a kid would go to school, but if they come back home, like learning does not continue. At least formal learning, they have to just figure the stuff out themselves, doing homework or at least there's no environment that's encouraged for them to learn. Imagination not stimulated. You know, so it's actually discouraged. You know, so if I play with a brick, I need to go play with that brick outside, if any. But if I try and explore and be imaginative in the home, I'm discouraged from doing that. At least those are the 2 I'm thinking now.
So I don't know if you said that to validate our own data, but that is exactly.
I wasn't paid for that.
You were not. But that is exactly the point, right?
Okay.
That we trust the schools to do what they can do.
Sure.
The government to do what they can do, right?
Sure.
There's so many stakeholders who are building in that sector. I think for us, we saw that data, that what happens between the school and the home. Like, okay, if you have the best teachers at school, or if you don't have such good teachers at school, home is still a key component. If you don't have maybe your classroom is like 200 kids and you couldn't tell the teacher you didn't understand and you just had to pretend that you were keeping up with the lesson. Home is a key place where you could actually try and start understanding.
Yeah.
Hence, for us, providing content that you can have in the home, whether through TV, through radio, through smartphones, even basic phones, we have content for all that. So allowing the child to be able to have that safe space at home to learn, right? And also looking at the parents and being like, okay, if they understand how they can help their child in their learning, that's also a key part. And making it fun, so that, because there's different learning styles, right? I can sit in a classroom and maybe my learning style is visual, or I'm a visual learner, or I'm a learner that has to learn by exploring. But not every classroom can afford for every different learning style, right?
Sure.
So we try and give that through our content. Hence us going into the homes and not really necessarily focusing on schools. But now, as we've evolved, it's now 12 years later since we started, our content is used in some schools. Okay. But it's not like we've made them specifically for schools, but teachers have actually seen the value of using our content in their classroom. So it works out.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks for that. Playdate, like you said earlier on, is trying to kind of put a spotlight on parents.
Yeah.
Parents who possibly watching this, and they just put a tablet on, let their kids sit there, and then they just continue with their lives. What would you say to them?
So, I mean, hey, as long as you're putting our content on the tablet,
And what if that's what they say? They're like, no, this is good content.
Yeah, just
I don't
leave
need to
your child
engage.
there. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, I think about me and my wife,
Yeah.
and we watched Akili with my kid. So much so that, earlier on we were speaking about the closing song, and I'm like, we were dancing to that stuff in the house, because it was just like, we want to be part of this thing. And I remember me and my wife saying like this is cool. Like, this is cool content. It's not like some cheesy, lame stuff. You're like, see, I'm even cringing just because there's nothing else. I'm going to watch this thing. But it was like, no. This is like really cool stuff
I'm glad.
that we wanted to watch as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So So the parents was just like, put this thing on, let them watch.
Yeah.
I'm just going to continue.
So as much as we would love your child to watch our content, endlessly, because we believe it's good quality.
Sure.
Even as we're building the content, we're building in mind several things. We're building in mind the child's attention span.
Yeah.
So we try and make our content for the younger kids shorter, and for the older kids, then longer and longer. Because we also don't believe in like a young child sitting in front of the screen the whole day.
Yeah.
So we try, even if it's like you only give them 10 minutes, they can watch 3 or 2 of our episodes, and they will learn, and that's okay. And then they go out to, play and learn through play outside in the environment. So we believe in all of that, right? That it has to be a wholesome kind of learning experience and not just the screen. So we build our content around that. But 2, we also when we package our content, whether it's for a broadcaster or on YouTube, we try and package it with parental elements inside. So it's like you're watching, like hopefully like you're watching with your kid, and then there's a break where now we're talking to the parents, and then we go back to then the content for the child. So trying to encourage even the way we package our content for the parents to watch it with their kids. We know not all parents are going to watch animation. They're going to be like, no, this is for kids. I'll leave it to them. We know some parents do want to be engaged in their child. So hopefully that is attractive also to parents.
Sure.
Yeah.
Christina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
You told me you were going to do that dance.
I wasn't caught up in the spirit. I wasn't. But
It was so good chatting. Thank you for being our viewer. For having been our viewer then.
No, I'm a fan. And I think you guys do amazing things, and you've really like closed the gap for many of us who are looking for content, cartoons that look like our kids. Yeah, we're tired of our kids asking us, when are we getting snow? This is Africa, girl. There's no snow. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So at least Akili, you can watch there. And she's burning like you in Africa.
Yeah.
It's African sun. Let's go. Right?
For the African child, by the
rock.
African child.
Let's rock.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If this has helped you, help us reach 100 million kids by the year 2028 by donating to ubongo.org. Every contribution brings us closer to a future where every child has access to the learning they deserve. Until next time, keep laughing, keep learning, and keep playing.